This week on FRCmedia News, Bishop Connolly High School will close at the end of the school year. The city is looking for an artist to adorn a new fitness court. And next week, Fall River celebrates Absolutely Incredible Kid Day. All this and more coming up. It's Thursday, March 9th, 2023, and this is FRCmedia News. I'm Keith Tebow. The Diocese of Fall River yesterday announced that Bishop Connolly High School will close its doors effective at the end of the current school year. Diocesan School Superintendent Daniel Roy says the decision to close the school was a difficult one, driven by financial concerns that has arisen from declining enrollment. The school currently serves a total of 141 students.
I know that Bishop D'Acunha had a very difficult decision in front of him, and when this decision was reached, it was conveyed last week to school leadership, to the administration, and from there, there was a week's worth of planning to ensure that we were able to roll out a communications and a strategy here for working with the whole community. I think it was a very difficult decision, and I think it required a lot of thought. I think a lot of prayer and consultation, and looking at some really hard realities, again, based on enrollment and finance, that led to this decision. There have been a lot of demographic changes across the city over the years. We're seeing a city change. We're seeing outreach to parishes, and we're seeing families in those parishes who are looking at other options. Who are looking at charter school, who are looking at Diamond, who are looking at a new Durfee, and who are considering all of these options. And I think that that's part of the significant change here in the city that has caused, us to be in this climate where there are just more options.
24 hours since making the announcement, Mr. Roy says it's understandable for parents, teachers, and students to passionately respond to news of the closure.
There are a whole range of emotions which are pretty raw right now. There's understandable, sadness about this, a sense of loss. And there's also, I think, the very real and natural fundamental question, which is, what does this mean for me? As a teacher, what does this mean for me? As a parent, what does this mean for me? As a student, what does this mean for me? And that creates even more of those concerns and worries and anger and sadness, and we share in the sense of loss here, and we really do want to work with those who are impacted by this to help them move forward.
Mr. Roy says meetings have begun and will continue to be held to inform families to the educational options available to them.
What we intend to do now is to produce an FAQ document, which will be posted on the website, which will be a common reference for all. But also, one of the things that we've done is begun the conversation with other high school leaders in the diocese, Bishop Fian, Bishop Stang, St. John Paul II, so that everyone is aware of this change. And our secondary school leaders at other schools have been most generous and are ready to help however they can.
Mr. Roy says teachers at the school will be given every opportunity to remain employed within the diocesan school district.
We've met with teachers. Obviously, teachers are also deeply saddened by this news, and we have such a committed core of mission-driven educators here in the Diocese of Fall River, and we want to make sure that we continue to work with them in a number of different ways through this process to make them aware of the various employment opportunities within the Diocese of Fall River, but also, should they make another decision, to support them in that. And so, Human Resources is teaming with us and making sure that, teacher by teacher, folks are having, the right kind of information to make the very best decisions for themselves.
Despite the closure, Mr. Roy remains optimistic that many in our region will continue to value the tenets of a Catholic school education.
The pandemic and the tumultuous time that we're living through right now just underscores this need. And what I have witnessed as superintendent are principals and teachers and families that have risen to the occasion, and have sustained these faith-based educational environments for young people through tumultuous times. And I believe that experience that students and their families have is life-changing. And we need to do everything that we can to continue with this rich tradition.
The City of Fall River and the Fall River Arts and Culture Coalition, or FRAC, are in search of an artist to display their work on a fitness court that will be constructed at Britland Park. The city has received a grant from the National Fitness Campaign and Blue Cross Blue Shield to construct the fitness court beside the soccer field and near the Al Lima Quikasham River Rail Trail.
The fitness court is filled with lots of different equipment, as you can see by the photos that we've shared online. Again, it just builds on building a healthy community as well. And so we're excited because part of the fitness court is not just fitness, but also artwork too. And we know artwork is part of mental health. And so we're thrilled to be able to offer the opportunity for artists in the greater Fall River region to submit artwork that could be selected for this court. And so their work would go as a big mural along the back. Also on the front side where the equipment is, there's small little, I would say maybe windows, where it could be a different design or a repeat from the design on the back. And the best part is on the side, the artist gets featured as well. So they get 3 to 5 sentences to talk about themselves and a picture of themselves, because we want to make sure they get the credit for their beautiful work that's going to be up there.
The project is part of the city's approach to promote overall wellness.
So this is all about building the creative economy. And so what we really want to do is to continue to give opportunities for local, I call them creatives because they might not just be your traditional artist, right? So local creatives the chance to make money and show their work and make money off of their work. And so what this does is it again builds a foundation for them to have bigger opportunities, maybe here in the city, maybe regionally, maybe statewide. But it's all about really just uplifting our artistic community here. And that's what this project does. There is an award for the work selected. It's $5,000, which I think is fantastic. So they would get the award, which again, it's about building that creative economy. And so that's what we're all about. So I love this project.
Artists are asked to submit their applications to the city before the end of the month.
The deadline to apply is, as you said, March 31st at 5 p.m. And you want to do that by visiting the city's website, which is fallriverma.org/contest. And there you'll see the form. It will pop right up and you can just fill that out with your information. And for the images, we're giving a few different ways that people can upload them, either through Dropbox, Google Drive, or WeTransfer, because they are going to be pretty large files. And people will learn a little bit more about that when they visit the website and read the guidelines. And within the guidelines, it also talks a little bit, as you asked, about the process of the selection. So it will be selected by a jury of people, and it will also go through to the National Fitness Campaign and Blue Cross and Blue Shield, who are also behind this project.
Coming up on Tuesday, Mayor Paul Coogan will deliver his 4th State of the City address before a meeting of the City Council and School Committee.
It'll be a positive update on what's going on in the city of Fall River. As I always say, the city does have warts, but at the same time, we're making tremendous progress from across the whole spectrum of our city, from the north to the south end. There's development, there's still housing going on. We've got the Route 79 project, we have the train coming. There's just a bunch of good things happening in the city, and we're poised to move forward at a very, very rapid rate. Me personally, I take a tremendous interest in the city and where we're going. And I think that that's the part you want to make sure it's you humanize the message, but you let people know that there are a bunch of good things going on, and we're going to keep right on rolling. I think that Fall River is poised for a tremendous renaissance, which is the word I'll use in the speech, and I think people should listen to what we have to tell them.
Even though nomination papers to run in this year's city election will not be available for another month, one candidate has announced he will seek a second run at earning a spot on the school committee. Colin Dias finished 8th in the race for school committee in 2021, approximately 600 votes short of election. He also ran for city council in 2019. Even though he's only 22 years old, Mr. Dias feels he's gained valuable experience to succeed this year.
I built up my trust in the community, making connections with those I might not have agreed with before. I've tried and be involved as much as I can. And again, maybe sometimes I can, indulge in rhetoric, but I think you need an approach. You need to stick by your values, things you truly believe in, but do it in a respectful way. I believe every candidate should go by that. You need to put in effort, and I plan on putting a lot of effort. As I said before, I'm very determined to win this election.
Mr. Dias says he's concerned that the school district has been the beneficiary of an increase in state and local aid without an increase in student performance. He's also concerned about what he feels is an increase in the instances of bullying across the district.
We've heard all the complaints. We see it all over social media. The bullying has become rampant. It's always been an issue, but it's more rampant now. I think this is the perfect school committee where we have the right personnel. You have members of the school committee who worked with nonprofits, who work for and run and operate nonprofits. And we just need to work, I need to work with them, and we need to bring all these nonprofits to the table to develop community programs. And we need to basically get more of a community outreach to every student in this city. It's not being done right now.
Mr. Dias says he's looking forward to building upon the work being done in support of teachers.
One good thing I think the school committee has done over the last 2 years is support our teachers. Our teachers not only need to feel protected, some of them don't feel protected in the classroom right now, they need to feel respected. I'm happy with the financial benefits our everyday educators are getting. We need to continue that. We also need to focus more on the social emotional support, counselors, therapists. We need to get more help for individual students, not the everyday administrators in this school district.
Just as importantly, Mr. Dias feels the school district should do a better job in promoting parental involvement.
Having them have a say in the school committee, again, you need a school committee that honors and cherishes the right to freedom of speech for every single resident of our city. We need an open, transparent, honest government. We need to restore public trust. We need to make sure parents know what we're doing and we're doing the right thing for them. It's all about trust. That's one issue. And the second issue it talks about before, we need more community outreach to, again, every single parent in this district. We're not doing enough, and one way we can do that is we got to bring all the nonprofits, put the egos aside. I know a lot of people don't get along in the city, but we need to put that aside and do what's best for the kids, the students of our city. Again, I feel like there's been a lot of distractions over the last many years, but especially I think it's come to light in the last few years in the school department. We need to put the distractions aside and just do what is best, and that is for the students of our great city.
Massachusetts 4th District Congressman Jake Auchincloss will be in Fall River on Saturday afternoon to meet with residents at a local town hall. Mayor Coogan says he continues to work with the congressman to secure federal support on a number of local projects.
We put in something, I believe, for the waterfront, for DCM, and we're trying to make sure that Fall River gets its share of any federal money that's being dispersed. Next week, we'll be sending out a similar request to Senator Warren and Markey. But this week, with Congressman Auchincloss coming, I'll be able to talk to him personally. I did speak with him on the phone the other day. He's looking forward to coming down, and we'll make sure we advocate for the things we need to help Fall River. It's the same way we got the $10 million for the lead pipe remediation. It's the same way we got money for Route 79. It's the same way we got money for the salt sheds. Anything we do, we advocate for Fall River to get its share so that we can keep moving the city forward. And that's going to be our focus as long as I'm in office.
The town hall will begin at 2:30 p.m. at Government Center and is open to all. Fall River City Councilor Councilor Liberty will be back in court next Thursday on charges she harassed the wife of a former lover in Westport and intimidating witnesses in the police investigation. Councilor Liberty was arraigned in January on 2 misdemeanor harassment charges and 2 felony counts of witness intimidation. The hearing next week will deal with motions by defense attorney Frank Camera to have all charges dropped, citing insufficient evidence. FRCmedia legal analyst attorney Stephen Sabra says there are grounds for these motions.
You know, you don't file this kind of motion in every case. Some cases you look at the police report and it's pretty clear that there's enough there to have the case move forward. So in this case, it's a little bit different, or the better way to describe it, I guess, it's definitely a case that these motions should have been filed. They're not frivolous motions because it's a closer call than you might see in another case. But you got to remember, it's not. You don't have to prove the case. The Commonwealth doesn't have to prove at this stage the case beyond a reasonable doubt. And all the inferences are going to be in favor of the Commonwealth and what's in that report. So it's not like at a trial where you have to have proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Is that going to be enough? It probably is. But again, a judge may feel differently.
Attorney Sabra says Councilor Liberty's standing in the community may have played a role in the pursuit by Westport police to file the charges, which may be considered damaging.
The defendant in this case went to some extremes to hide what she was doing. When you study that police report, I mean, when you start talking about burner phones and all these different numbers and all of that, I could see how the Westport Police Department, and they get a complaint from a citizen, a resident, they have to investigate it, and as they investigate it, they see all these attempts to hide what a person is doing, and they have this complaint from this woman that she's getting all these phone calls over the course of months, phone calls and texts from different numbers. So I would think that from the police department standpoint, they looked at this they took it as a serious matter, and they proceeded with it.
Late last year, the defense filed a similar motion to dismiss the felony charges, but was denied because Councilor Liberty had yet to be arraigned in the case. During that argument, lawyers for the victims were on hand, seeking to have the charges dropped. Attorney Sabra says such a move is uncommon and will likely not be allowed next week.
Generally speaking, the judge is not going to hear from the alleged victim or the complaining, the complaining party or their lawyers at this stage of the proceedings. And it was unusual that they were there the last time or the time before, I suppose, with their lawyers. So I don't anticipate that happening again. But if you look forward here, if you don't have the complaining witness or victim rather, and a witness willing to proceed, it makes it a very difficult case for the Commonwealth, for the district attorney's office.
Following her arrest last year, Councilor Liberty relinquished her role as City Council President, but remains a member of the council. We'll have more FRCmedia news right after this.
Here's some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Cardiac sonographer, Charlton Memorial Hospital, located at 363 Highland Avenue, is seeking a part-time cardiac sonographer to perform diversified clinical patient care and technical duties in the echocardiography department. Job number 183-47991. Marketing coordinator, Fall River Municipal Credit Union, located at 289 Milliken Boulevard, is looking for a full-time marketing coordinator to assist in the development and implementation of all marketing public relation functions for the credit union. Job number 183-63371. Process Development Associate Scientist, Celldex Therapeutics, Incorporated, located at 151 Martin Street, is looking for a full-time Process Development Associate Scientist to design and troubleshoot purification processes to support preclinical and early phase manufacturing campaigns of novel products. Job number 183-93508. Maintenance Person, Rhode Island Novelty, located at 350 Commerce Drive, is looking for a full-time maintenance person. For more information, call 800-528-5599. Whirlpool Corporation, located at 88 Current Road, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Quality Manufacturing Lead, job number 184-01884. Group Leader, job number 184-01067. For more information about these and other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. The city of Fall River is once again encouraging participation by adults in paying tribute to the great work being done by city youth during Absolutely Incredible Kids Day.
Absolutely Incredible Kids Day is a call to action for adults to write a letter to a youth in their life. So whether it's a son, daughter, grandson, granddaughter, niece, nephew, someone in your classroom, on your basketball team, just writing a personalized letter, letting them know how important, how special they are to you, and really encouraging adults to just write something that's going to be tangible that the young person can read over and over again, and explain why you enjoy spending time with them, what makes them unique, what makes them special, what makes them incredible.
Fall River Youth Services Coordinator Christian McCloskey says local schools will get involved in the day by providing positive reinforcement to kids.
Some teachers write letters to all the students in their class, but it's schools in St. Vincent's, they always celebrate the day. So whether it's something special to eat or extra free time, a dress down day, it's just a way to celebrate children. Well, the letter is something that they can go back to over and over. So it's when they're not feeling so well, when they're feeling maybe depressed or not so special, they can read, ideally, multiple letters, just reminding them that there are people that care about them. And it's reminding them of all the positive attributions that they display.
The city celebration of Absolutely Incredible Kid Day will culminate with the announcement of Fall River's Youth of the Year at a ceremony next Thursday morning at Diamond Regional Vocational Technical High School.
There were 26 nominees, 24 submitted essays, and we're going to be having about 12 or 13 interviews. And so to coincide with Absolutely Incredible Kid Day, which was deliberate, in which we will make the announcement. Each year it's a very difficult process for the review committee, but it's also reassuring knowing that Fall River's future is so bright when they read these essays by the youth and then have the opportunity to interview them.
We will wrap up this edition of FRC Media News after this.
Welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Lulu. Lulu is a 3.5-year-old lab mix. She is from Puerto Rico. She can be skittish. She's a little nervous right now with new people. As far as other dogs, she is selective with other dogs. It appears to be if they're very high energy, she's not too interested. She does a little better with more laid back calmer dogs. But she is selective, so we would kind of like her to go to be the only dog in the home. And as far as kids, 12 plus for kids, because we don't have a history of her with children. She most likely had a couple litters over there in Puerto Rico. She's very sweet, she's very docile, she loves attention, she loves going on her walks. As you can see, she is very calm, she is a little nervous, she is shaking a little bit, but she's good. So if you'd like to meet Miss Lulu, come on down to 300 Linwood Street. She would love to meet you. Today we have Lady. Lady is a 9-month-old kitten from South Carolina. She'd do good in almost any home. Probably kids 5 and up, just because, you know, to respect her boundaries a little bit, because where she is still a little skittish. But she'd do good in any home. She's a kitten, she's very playful. So again, this is Lady. 9-month-old kitten from South Carolina. She's a little nervous. So if you'd like to meet Miss Lady, come on down to 300 Linwood Street and meet our little girl. She would love to meet you.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website, frmedia.org, for all the latest news and local information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.